Of course, you debuted early this year. Certainly, things didn't go the way you wanted, but you fought an absolute beast of an opponent. What did you take out of that fight?
Honestly, what I took out of it is that when I went into it, it was obviously a short-nosed fight. Everything was riding against me. I was fighting a top opponent, short notice, cut a lot of weight, got really sick. It sucked. But the thing I pulled from it is that I really believed in myself. I really believed that I was going to win that fight, and I think that's something that you can't teach. And that's what I pulled from, is that I'm a lot stronger here than I thought I was. And so it was nice to see that.
I mean, you said it was like it was the opposite of ideal. Like literally everything that could go wrong, or that could be stacked against you was against you. So I mean, I guess does that make things easier now moving forward, knowing that I've already literally fought one of the best in the division, and now I get to do a full camp, and now I get to do all that. I mean, does that make things easier for you moving forward?
Honestly, it's different. It's weird because going into that fight, I was like, man, honestly, if worse comes worse, I do lose to Sarah McMahon. I lost to Sarah McMahon. So now I feel a little bit more, I don't want to use the word pressure because I feel people take that negatively, but I feel like a little bit more eyes are on me right now. But they say when you put pressure on coal, that's what makes a diamond. So all in all, I'm really stoked about everything that's coming together, like my camp, my weight cut, like everything is so great. And so I'm just excited to scrap.
Very cool. Well, let's talk about getting to here. I mean, you've been off since then, so I mean, better part of a year. Was that by design, or were we just sitting around waiting to get booked? I mean, why the long layoff?
Honestly, getting healthy. After that last weight cut, I wasn't very healthy. I was cutting weight, and I was like dry heaving into a trash can, and I finally had to stop. And a lot of people don't a lot of people don't hear about this because I think it's one of those things that isn't talked about. But when our bodies, when we cut that much weight, it really messes with us, and especially women, like your hormones and just everything. It makes it very imbalanced. But yeah, so I just took that time to get healthy, get over losing, just sharpening my skills even sharper. And then also I didn't have a fight. Like this is the first fight they offered me, so of course I took it ASAP.
What's the focus been on technique and your game? I mean, obviously just getting the body right was #1, but I mean, was there anything that you learned from that? Like, hey, at the UFC level, these are the adjustments I got to make.
Honestly, I'm always working to become the best that I can be. I feel like my grappling, my wrestling is strong. And that fight, I had nothing. I was just weak. I was sick. I'm not trying to make excuses at all, but that is what it is, And I've just been really focusing. I've been focusing on my striking too, a lot more. But just everything. I think to be at the elite level, you need to be well-rounded and pretty much good at everything. Nowadays, when people go in and like, oh, I'm just a striker. Oh, I'm just a ground person. A good opponent hears that and they're like, oh, you're just a striker, I'm gonna take your ass down. So I want to be good at everything.
So when you think back on your review, it sounds to me like there's frustration, that you feel like you just didn't get to show anything about yourself, like who you are.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I think, which makes me, I'm so excited for this fight because I think my opponent is perfect for me. I really couldn't have been, I couldn't have had a more perfect girl put in front of me. I just think it'll be a good fight.
Well, let's talk about your opponent a second. First, let me ask you, the call comes in to fight in China against a Chinese opponent. What's your thought? Because obviously it's a long way to get over here. It's a difficult adjustment, whereas she's fighting at home. So what was your thought process when they offered it? Were you excited about it? Did you hesitate? What was it?
My first thought was, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and I'm personally a fan of heels. And there's nothing more enjoyable than going into someone else's backyard. For one, there's not as much pressure. Obviously, she has a good following here, and she's been doing very well here. So that to me is no problem. The travel part is nothing. My big brother fights for EFC in South Africa, Gina Mazany, and I've been in his corner quite a few times for those fights. So flying over there, which is usually 27 to 30 hours of travel. Shoot, flying to China was nothing. So yeah, I was excited. I was stoked to get the call, and I obviously visit China, which is amazing. So it's all just been a great experience so far.
Very cool. Talk about your opponent a little bit. I mean, break her down, because it sounds like, you said she seemed like the perfect girl, so it sounds like there was plenty of tape for you to watch, and you feel comfortable that you know her game?
I think why she's the perfect girl for me is because she's never fought somebody like me. I really think that I'm a different breed that was made out of extreme couture in Las Vegas. We're a very grindy, get in your face, just kind of make you hate life and take you down and hold you down and against your will. And I don't think she's fought anybody like me. She's fought a lot of strikers. But the thing is too, is like I love striking. I love to stand and bang. So I think either way, it'll be a good fight. Not taking anything away against her at all. Like, she's obviously done very, very well. I have the utmost respect for her. But I just think it'll just be a good fight. She's not Sarah McMahon.
That's a big difference there. Well,
it's like she doesn't have like an Olympic background of competing, wrestling since she was a kid, or boxing since she was a kid, that I know of. I wasn't able to find too much tape on her, but which is fine, because I think that every time I go into a fight, I'm a different fighter. So I'm not too worried about it.
You mentioned extreme couture. Obviously, we know Robert Follis left recently. I guess that would have probably been during the middle of your training camp. So any adjustments? I mean, was that a disruption for you at all, or did?
No, not at all. Honestly, Robert Follis has always been great to have around. He knows great stuff. But my main impact of a coach is Dennis Davis. He's been the head coach at Extreme Couture for quite a while, before Follis and after Follis. But no, Dennis is my number one guy. He's the one I've always turned to, and he knows his shit. He's had over 30 pro fights himself. He's been in the cage. He's taken damage. He's given damage. So it honestly didn't really affect me. It was it's people, especially in Vegas, people come and go, but you gotta stay close to your family, and like Dennis is a part of my family, and so I'm stoked to have him, and I'm glad he didn't leave. That'd be awful.
Very cool. Well, just a couple of days out, give me an idea. What's the anticipation like? Knowing that you didn't really get to show yourself the first time around, you've been working towards getting back to this position and being ready. I mean, is it excitement? Is it nerves? Is it pressure? What is the feeling right now?
The feeling is obviously excitement. This is what I love to do. I'm so thankful that I'm able to do what I love the most in the world and possibly make a living at it. That's so amazing. I love Mondays. I live for the weekdays. I live for Monday. I live for Monday through Friday, and that's amazing. Of course you're nervous. I'm getting in a cage with another human being that would love nothing more than to have me unconscious face down on the mat. However, I am going to use my nerves for good, not evil. You know what I mean? Like, it's like GSP said. He said, I have butterflies, but my butterflies, I make them fly in formation. So it's good to be nervous. If you weren't nervous, you wouldn't care. And I care. Can I cuss?
Absolutely.
I care so fucking much. So I care so fucking much. So nerves are great. Nerves are great. Nerves will make you human. But yeah, life's good. I'm excited.
How do you see this one going down when you play it out in your head? I'm sure you're thinking about it. How does it go down?
Probably run her to the ropes, clothesline, break her down. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I have so many scenarios cruising through here. But you guys will have to see Saturday night, November 25th, Shanghai, China.